Timberwolf versus Warhammer. And this isn't so much head-to-head, but I wanted to really follow up on yesterday's vlog. Pushed it up to the Battletech archive here. We're making our way through the clan invasion. We're getting ready either in support or against the incoming clans. And we were exploring the Timberwolf, aka Mad Cat, as just such a well thought out, all around amazing mech. Auto include if you're the clans. I'm not going to say go out and buy 4, but you can tag team 2 and do really well. And I made some comparisons to the Warhammer, and I wanted to clear that up just a little bit because I think I was off a little bit in the presentation. The idea behind the Warhammer in the inner sphere, my argument was, or I should say my tactica position was, that the Warhammer wants to do a certain thing in the inner sphere, but it's limited by its heat management, its range, and somewhat its damage output. I was going to say Mad Cat. I guess I should say Mad Cat because we're looking at that analysis. Mad Cat does that, corrects all the deficiencies of the Warhammer, and adds additional damage and range to it. So the idea is the Warhammer starts out far away and it's firing its PPCs. It's got long range damage potential, guaranteed 10 points. The only thing to match that would be long range missiles, but depends on the spread. Is it a 5, a 10, a 15, 20? It's going to hit with clusters. PPC is constant, but you don't have the heat management to constantly be firing those. So you fire 1, you wait. You fire 2, you cool down. Maybe there's some water, although honestly, I can't remember the last time I played on a hex map with water. Maybe you guys just rotate the hex maps and play in it. But you have to have heat management. So the Warhammer's fearsome, but you're kind of limited by the heat. Timberwolf has those long-range weapons, and it starts firing immediately. Then as we get closer with the Warhammer, so the Warhammer gets closer, and now it switches off its PPCs to heat and range, and now it starts using its brace of lasers. So it's kind of like if it exists at long range, it has these options, it switches off, and now it utilizes the lasers and the short-range missiles. We're talking standard configuration. And then once it closes really point blank, it's using lasers, it's using machine guns, it's using everything. The Timberwolf is exactly the same thing. As it gets closer, it's going to switch to these different brackets of weapons until literally it's point blank and it's just blasting you. And at long range, of course, it's going to use the long range 20 packs. Yeah, it was pointed out, yes, the reloads are light. Even for a mech of that size, the reloads are light. So it's not an indirect machine. I mean, you could indirect if you had to, but it doesn't have the feed capacity of, say, a longbow or an archer, where you can afford to waste those shots. With indirect fire, with the spotter, I need 11s or 12s, or before I even calculate, I need 12s. But it wants to move forward. It wants to get close. So that was my comparison of it being an updated Warhammer, so to speak, in that the weapons delivery, that's what it's geared up for. The Warhammer, as it closes, the Warhammer gets more powerful. The PPCs punch through from distance, go to internals, and then all these little zappy lasers and machine guns and missiles crit seek and finish you off. Timberwolf does that a million times better. Heat management, good. Extended range, good. Greater damage, good. Redundancy across all platforms, good. It's like a Warhammer Tactica design on steroids.